Earlier I honed this Brian Brown white steel Yasuki steel razor on this concave wasido. It's an asagi that I've created a hollow here, so it's not a truly flat stone anymore. I did start out with the Tomo Nagara, which was this number here, and now I'm going to be moving to a little bit softer Tomo Nagara. This Nagara won't hardly provide any slurry from the host stone, but most of the slurry is going to come from the Tomo Nagara itself. And I'm going to do some short sessions on each slurry raised with the Tomo Nagara. Then I'm going to rinse and create a new slurry. So you can see how this stone is concave now. The slurry gravitates towards the center. So that was 10. Okay, there's another 10, and I'm going to call it quits on that slurry. Rinse off the stone here. That's fresh, clean, clear water. Back to the Nagara. Now this is not a thick, pasty type slurry. It's really slurry particles floating in clear water. Okay, there's 10. Okay, if you remember from the previous video to this, I got this razor to a point where it would do HHTs in the 2 range, and I'm looking to improve on that. So I've just rinsed for the second time, and this is going to be the third slurry. Rinse the blade off, and I'll do the left hand side right off the bat on this series. Now my strokes here are probably in the 2 to 3 range, 2 to 3 inch range, so the effect on the blade is pretty minimal if you consider how short and how light the pressure is. So I have some hair here, but first we'll try get an HHT out of this as it sits. Okay, nothing's happening there. That was fresh off the stone. Okay, I'll try, let me dry my hand off here. I'm going to continue with a palm stropping theme here. Okay, I'll do 2 passes. And those were a little bit crude, but let's see if it improved the edge at all. Not really. So let me do a few more passes on my palm, and I'll try to do a little bit more complete type strokes. Okay, that was 10. I got a little HHT out here towards the toe. Wasn't too bad. But in the heel here, it's weak. So that's where I'm going to focus this time. Rinse the stone off. Raise another fresh slurry. So I'm going to focus on the heel this time and let the the toe sort of take care of itself.
You're listening to KCSM, FM 91, the Bay Area's jazz station.
Okay, that was just 10 strokes. I think I'll try another 10. Okay, there's 10. Okay, let me rinse the blade off. And palm strop again. That was about 10. Okay, that was a good, almost a ½ inch holding it, and the hair fell pretty much to the other side. That was nice. That was very positive. Here we are at the toe, and that's looking good too. These are somewhere in the 3s and definitely somewhere in the 4s. Okay, let's just see tape. We can take a little farther. Rinse off the blade. I think that's the 4th rinse. And the 4th Tomonaga Suri. But we did do 20 passes that time. So if I'm right, I think our count is probably up around maybe 40 strokes or something like that at this stage. I have to go back to the other video and add them up. But okay, I'll just look at the center of the blade this time. Okay, so that was 10 on each side. Palm stropping is probably the weakest movement here because the fat of your palm here, you know, has a lot of contact with the blade. Out here a little bit, but in the middle here, you know, the blade isn't really touching very much, so. Okay, that was about 10. This hair is getting shorter. That flew back on my hand. That was right at the heel. That's in the middle, and that was being held about a ½ inch away. I have a different piece of hair. Go out at the toe. That came back onto my holding finger, so that would be an HH 3 to 4. That also came back. That violin, ooh, that hair just, it split right down the middle. That also popped back. These are definitely 4s. Look, I got all those hairs back on my, I don't know if it's the shape of the bevel or whatever, but these hairs are falling back. And there's another hair that just, it just actually split the hair lengthwise. Remarkable. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the hone and let's rinse that slurry off again. And this, I shaved with this razor after the first session where we only did 10 strokes total on the Brian Brown. And I got a really close shave. Not super comfortable or super close, but very close. Okay, I'm going to do wavy strokes this time. Just so we get a all the width of the blade with some kind of scratch pattern. Okay, that's 10.
Great work from Mike Longo on Jazz 91 KCSA.
Okay, so there's another set
Right now, this one's called Step On.
of 10.
Bob Cranshaw and Lewis Nash joining him in this trio rendition.
Back to the palm strop.
Anna Maria. Linda Kosu just in front.
I'll tell you, this is a wicked blade too, the palm strop. That edge, that corner, that is very sharp.
Lyrics by Oscar Brown Jr. Linda turned 68 today, and Max Perkoff was there on piano. Tom Shader on bass and Paul Von Bogenhagen on
There's another 10
Linda Kosu, long as your
on the strop.
message there. Lyrics by
Okay, I
Oscar
have
Brown Jr.
more hair.
They released the songs and poetry of Oscar Brown Jr. Happy birthday to you, Linda, from all of us here at Jazz 91.
That was nice. That was like a 4. That was held at about a ½ inch away.
He contacted me.
That was held over ½ inch away from the cutting point.
And of course, I've never
That's like a violin.
in my life.
Actress Cortez inviting you to join us this weekend for an in-studio visit with drummer Allison Miller with FM 91's Melody
That popped back.
I'm Talking Jazz, Sunday morning at 8 on KCSM, the Bay Area's jazz station.
I've owned this razor for about 2 years, and I've shaved with it a couple dozen times. And from experience, I can tell you this is, I think it looks like the sharpest I've ever had this razor. Those are unquestionable HHTs in the 4, and without being able to distinguish from a different razor, I could. These could be 5s. I've never really gotten these really even HHTs off of this razor. So I think this diluted slurry sequence is something I definitely want to play around with. Right off my first series of strokes on the stone from my last video, I was definitely getting HHTs, but this has just kicked up another level. So I'm going to finish shaving with this razor.